treasure gold.
Good morning, blockchain jungle. Buenos dias. So, before we dive into the digital assets and financial innovation, I want to ask you all a question. How many of you remember the first time you felt truly empowered by technology? So, raise your hands if you've ever felt it. So, for me, that moment came at a very unexpected time in my life. So picture this, I was a young mother with 4 little boys, trying to navigate between sippy cups, diapers, and spreadsheets. So at that time I was trying to navigate between my professional life and my parenting life in a society that always asks you to choose one path. Mis raíces costarricenses, because I'm proudly Costa Rican, taught me the value of persistence and community. Oh, thank you. And community. So growing up with these values, I learned that the most powerful currency isn't what you have in your wallets. It's trust. Trust in yourself, trust in the community you work with, and trust in your vision for a better future. When I founded my company, ChainMyne, I wasn't launching another crypto platform. I was responding to a very deep challenge. How do we build something that is going to be innovative and work for everybody, not just the ones that are privileged or technically savvy? So I invested a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, not just because I saw a quick profit opportunity, but because I believe blockchain technology could democratize the financial access and the financial empowerment of many people if we build it with the right values. So let me ask you guys a question. How many of you tried explaining blockchain or cryptocurrency to a family member just to be looked at with some skepticism? Very difficult, right? So the skepticism isn't irrational. In reality, it's the real response of an industry that often prioritizes complexity over clarity, speculation over substance, and exclusivity over inclusion. So my journey from motherhood to becoming a Latin American female CEO in fintech has taught me one crucial lesson. Trust is the true currency of blockchain. Without it, even the most brilliant technologies that we built, innovation remains just that, an innovation without adoption and a solution without impact. So now we're standing at a fascinating crossroads of financial history. On one side, we have the traditional financial systems, stable, but often a little bit rigid. And then we have this beautiful technology, innovative, but frequently misunderstood and volatile. So let's try something. Let's try an exercise by show of hands. So how many of you own a traditional bank account? Okay, everybody, almost everybody. Now, how many of you own some sort of cryptocurrency? Very nice. So, and finally, how many of you really, and I want to really see your hands, how many of you really feel confident to explain blockchain technology to anybody that is, very new to the system? Amazing. Fewer hands, but we have people. So, the gap between traditional finance and crypto isn't just technological. It's psychological, it's emotional, and it's educational. So many people still fear or misunderstand blockchains for 3 key reasons. First is the accessibility barriers. The technical language of crypto, wallets, private keys, gas fees, creates an immediate cognitive frictions for newcomers. When was the last time your bank asked you to manage your own encryption keys in order to access your money? So the second, regulatory uncertainty. I hope there's a regulator over here hearing me out. Without clear frameworks, many potential users and institutions remain on the sidelines, unsure if today's compliant action will become tomorrow's regulatory nightmare. And you guys know it can become a nightmare. So third, and perhaps most importantly, education. Okay, sorry, it's our education. So the financial literacy is already challenging enough without adding blockchain concepts to the mix. So think about this. We don't expect people to understand how TCP and IP protocols work in order to send an email, correct? So why do we expect the average user to understand blockchain architecture to benefit from its advantages? I've seen this gap firsthand. When I first mentioned to my family that I was getting into cryptocurrency and starting a company, the responses range from polite confusion to outright concern. Isn't that for criminals? Isn't it just a bubble? This is the kind of questions I got. So these weren't irrational fears. They were the natural result of an industry that often fails to translate its value to everyday people in terms that resonates with their actual needs and concerns. The reality is that we cannot build financial inclusion on fear, only on education. And we can't expect mass adoption when the entry point requires specialized knowledge that most people simply don't have time to acquire. So what's the solution? Well, at ChainMyne, our mission is simple but profound. We build bridges, not barriers. So, guys, can somebody tell me what's the most important feature of a bridge? Anybody? An important feature of a bridge, perhaps the pillars. So for me, the most important feature of a bridge is that you don't need to understand its engineering to trust that it's going to carry you to the other side. That's exactly how we build our company. A bridge that people can trust without needing an engineering degree in blockchain technology. As a Canadian-regulated over-the-counter digital asset platform, we've created secure, compliant on-ramps and off-ramps between traditional finance and digital assets. Our approach differs in three fundamental ways. First, we prioritize human relationships over algorithms. When you work with us, you're not just interacting with a platform. You're connecting with real people who understand both your financial goals and your concerns. Second, we've built compliance into our DNA. Operating under fintech registrations, we've embraced regulation as a feature, not a bug. This means providing tax-ready reporting and maintaining transparent operations that meet and exceed regulatory requirements. Third, we've designed our educational approach to meet everybody from a beginner or institutional investor. We adapt our guidance to your specific needs and knowledge levels. I believe that true innovation isn't just about creating new technology. It's about making that technology accessible, trustworthy, and meaningful in people's lives. So by show of hands, and I'm sure I'm going to get many for this one, how many of you believe blockchain technology will fundamentally change how we think about the value exchange in the next decade? Yes? Amazing. Now, how many people do you believe the average person understands enough about blockchain to participate in this beautiful transformation? So that gap between potential accessibility is exactly what we're trying to close. We're not just another crypto platform. We want to become that bridge to a more inclusive financial future where the benefits of blockchain are available for everyone, not just the technical savvy or the financial privileged. So now let's talk about education and empowerment, because truly the twin engines of financial inclusion, I'd like to think about a moment that, really something that I understood transformed the way I thought and gave me a sense of power and possibility. That transformation from confusion to confidence is what proper education provides. In blockchain space, that journey is particularly important. We need to educate three key groups. First, the youth. The digital natives who will inherit this technology need more than just technical skills. They need ethical frameworks that will guide them and to build these powerful tools. They need to understand that, not just how blockchain works, but why it matters and how it can serve humanity. The second one, families. every financial decision, well, a lot of financial decisions are taken at the dinner table with your families. So, and they're also influenced by the family values. So when we take the time to educate families about digital assets, we give them the power to make collective decisions about their financial futures. And the third one, institutions. From banks to governments to nonprofits, established institutions need pathways to understand and integrate blockchain solutions that align with their missions and responsibilities. At ChainMyne, we believe financial literacy is a path to independence and equality. When people understand their options, they can make choices that align with their values and goals rather than being limited by what others tell them it's possible. As a mother of 4 kids, I think about this constantly. What financial world am I helping create for my children?
Okay.
Will it be one where they're empowered to participate fully? Or will it be one where they are excluded by technical barriers and financial jargon? I firmly believe also, and I hope I get a lot of noise for this, that women belong in blockchain. Not just as builders, but as not just as users, but as decision makers and builders. It means we want to be able to ensure that women and underrepresented groups have seats at the table where these systems are designed. What would our financial systems look like if they had been designed from the very beginning with inclusion as a core principle rather than an afterthought? That's just not a hypothetical question. I think it's an opportunity that we have right now with blockchain technology where we can design new systems that expand access rather than restrict it and empower people rather than control them. So as we approach the end of our time together, I want to leave you guys with both a vision and an invitation. A vision of a world where financial empowerment isn't just a privilege, it's a right. Where anyone with a smartphone and an internet connection can access the tools they need to build security and opportunity for themselves and their families. But vision doesn't become reality through technology alone. They require community, commitment, and everybody's collaboration. So here's my invitation to all of you. Join us in building an inclusive financial future. How many consider themselves educators? I think I saw you, an educator in the crypto space. So whether you raise your hand or not, each of us has the power to share knowledge and increase understanding. Each conversation about blockchain that focuses on human impact rather than technical specifications helps bridge that gap between innovation and adoption. I think this is where we are able to create that mass educational focus. So how many of you influence the financial decisions in your organizations or your families? So your choices about which platforms and projects you trust send powerful signals to others. By supporting platforms that prioritize compliance, education, and human relationships, you help share the blockchain ecosystem that serves everyone, not just the technical elite. And finally, and I'm sure there's many of you here, how many of you are builders, creators of services and systems around the blockchain space? So I challenge you all to build with inclusion by design, not as an afterthought. Consider from the beginning how your innovations will serve everyone, all the diverse users with different needs, knowledge levels, and concerns. So at ChainMyne, we're committed to doing things the right way, responsibly and transparently. We invite you to learn more about our approach to collaborate with us in educational initiatives and join us in building those bridges rather than the barriers. Remember, trust is a true currency. We earn it through transparency, maintain it through education, and multiply it through genuine human interaction. So thank you for the attention today. I hope to see you guys. Our booth is on the other room, if you guys want to come and see us and chat. For now, thank you so much. Muchas gracias y pura vida.
In my sorrow, treasure gold.